Comrade Asu Okang, Commissioner, Cross River State Ministry of Youth and Sports Development, has said that Mr. Orok is not the chairman of the State Sports Commission and should desist from parading himself as such, pending when he will be formally inaugurated. The commissioner, who issued a warning at the inauguration ceremony of Pelican Stars and Rovers Football Club management team, went on to say that Orok has no right to say that the National Sports Festival will hold in the third quarter, stating that the legitimate body to do so is the National Council of Sport, which is yet to meet in Calabar.
That haven't been able, or by the grace of God, we have been able to secure back the hosting right for the National Sports Festival back to Calabar. We are also not oblivious of the fact that took us a long time to be able to come out public. My director of sports is here, and my permanent secretary. It took us a long time to be able to come out to make a concrete statement on whether or not Cross River State is still going to be hosting the National Sports Festival, or as the case may be. Now, we were able to get back that mandate through the assurances of the Honorable Minister for Youth and Sport, and then we were able to address the press and say, look, we are proposing that we are going to be able to host that festival anytime soon. But knowing quite well that the responsibility of announcing the actual date of the National Sports Festival lies not on one man, not on me as commissioner, or even us as a state, but on the National Council of Sports body, which is the highest decision-making body of the sporting industry today. We have heard on some media, some even social media, that Cross River State has postponed the National Sports Festival to last quarter of the year, and that our facilities are not ready, and all of those statements those misguided statements being made from certain quarters. Let me, for purposes of emphasis, state it very clear that the only body that is saddled with the responsibility to announce the actual date of the National Sports Festival is the National Council of Sports, which in itself is to hold a meeting in Calabar between 11th and 15th of February 2016. It is only after that meeting that we can come out with an actual date for the hosting of the National Sports Festival in Calabar. Therefore, and to make it very clear, and very clear to all of us, that the National Council of Sports meeting has not taken a decision on the date yet. I therefore implore you to disregard every statement as regards the hosting of the National Sports Festival as being filtered by some Honorable Orok, who parades himself as the chairman of the Cross River State Sports Commission. Let me also state, for purposes of emphasis, that Honorable Orok is a designate chairman, proposed chairman, as was announced by the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor, or to be the chairman of National Sports Commission. So as at the last, State Sports Commission rather, and as at the last check, the process that completes, the process that sees the emergence of anybody in an office, has not been completed yet. He is supposed to be duly inaugurated by this office before he takes over as commission chairman. Therefore, as at the last check, Cross River State does not have any sports commission chairman, and we do not have any commission in place until they are duly sworn in. So, gentlemen of the press, it is important for you to know this and know this clearly, so that we don't get misguided by certain individuals who do not really mean well for the state. As at the last check, I had spoken with His Excellency, and we had expected that the inauguration was going to, first of all, be put in place before anybody takes office as commission chairman. There is no commission for now until they are duly inaugurated, by His Excellency or the Commissioner for Youth and Sports, because the Sports Commission is an appendage, just one part, and the parastatal of the Ministry of Youth and Sports Development. I implore you to disregard every comment from that quarter as regards the date or the shifting of the National Sports Festival until when the National Council of Sports meets, including the Honorable Minister who will be in attendance in that meeting, where we'll come out with a tentative and actual date, and we'll let you gentlemen of the press to know about that date.
Furthermore, he went on to list some of his achievements so far in office.
I inherited a plethora of issues, problems ranging from lack of money to be able to honor matches outside Calabar, and I made them a promise, and that promise I'll still make here today, that never again will Rovers or Pelican Stars have a match and be walked over for. Let me also say that the issues bordering on salaries of both Pelican and Rovers footballers is being taken seriously at the level of management. We have discussed it a few times with His Excellency the Governor, and I could see in him the willingness, I could see in him genuine intent to be able to ensure that he clears the salaries of Rovers and Pelican Stars in the shortest possible time. As I speak with you, the federal government is at the verge of releasing 500 million for us to complete our infrastructure and readiness for that festival through the National Youth Trust. For the very first time in history, the Olympic torch, which was hitherto always in Abuja for the president, and then perhaps on their way out in Lagos for the Lagos State Governor, for the very first time during the Olympic, we'll find the Olympic torch in Calabar presented to His Excellency the Governor's Smith of These and a few other efforts we have been able to make, not just in sports, but even in the youth component. I inherited a budget of about 240 million, which we were supposed to defend before the House of Assembly. It became an issue when I couldn't appear before the House of Assembly to defend the budget. And when His Excellency asked, I told him, I said, Your Excellency, with due respect, the only problem is that this budget does not reflect the interests of the youth, because we do not have youth activities embedded inside that budget. He said, what do you intend to do? I said to him, Your Excellency, we are going to employ 5,000 youth under the YESO program. The best we are going to do is to ensure that we open the largest tree nursery in Africa, starting with 30 million tree seedlings in 6 senatorial zones, in 6 zones, in 3 senatorial zones. So we have 2 zones in each of the senatorial districts. And then as I speak with you, we are already meeting with the communities. We are going to be opening up those nurseries in Abe, in Obudu, in Aya, in Ogoja. We have Ochon in Obubra, we have Ikom, and then Uyanga and Akpabin. Those centers have been chosen to raise the largest tree nursery of different kinds to combat climate change. Where Cross River State is going to serve as a ready market for tree seedlings for every state in Nigeria that intends to combat climate change. His Excellency the Governor graciously approved 800 million for us under the YESO program, and that 800 million was captured in the Cross River State Youth budget for 2016. So as I speak with you, 800 million was added by His Excellency to ensure youth empowerment of 5,000 youth in 2016 alone. We also have met with the United Nations systems to ensure that we harmonize our youth policy document and find alternative sources of funding for government, for all our youth programs in the ministry. As at the last check, between Monday and Wednesday, we had the UN systems team from Abuja visiting the ministry, and they were here for 2 days with us, trying to fine-tune our youth policy document and get alternative sources of funding for all our youth programs for 2016. That in itself is a remarkable achievement. We have also launched the Project Marble. Project Marble is a rescue mission on the facilities at the NYSC camp in Obubra. The Obubra NYSC camp is in some state of disarray. We have decided to launch the Project Marble to ensure that all public-spirited individuals, corporate organizations come to the rescue of the Obubra NYSC camp by taking up projects. We have about 10 projects there enlisted. We have 5 hostel projects. We have the water scheme. We have the road network accommodation, and all of those accommodation for corps members and officials, and all of those projects lined up. So what we have decided to do is, look, if you know you want to write your name on map, what is important is for you to come and identify a project, execute that project, renovate that project, and we name it after you for life.
Achibong Jeremiah, Cross River World TV.